Howdy, folks. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Squarespace. Use the code word Blitz5 is the best at PUBG to save 5%. I'm just kidding, guys. We don't have any sponsors yet. I'm just messing around. But I sincerely want to thank you guys for checking out this episode of the podcast, and a huge shout out to everyone that's listened to the first 5 episodes and is supporting us in this new venture into the podcast world. Right now, the podcast is available on iTunes and Google Play, but unfortunately, to be on these two platforms, we have to pay money on a monthly basis to host the podcast, and obviously on YouTube, it is free. So if you guys are enjoying the podcast or the YouTube channel or the stream, please consider donating or supporting us in some way, shape, or form. So if you guys want to donate, we have a Streamlabs link, which will take you to PayPal, cryptocurrency donation. There's also chances to donate while I'm streaming through the YouTube Super Chat. And you can also become a member on YouTube Gaming, which is sort of like YouTube's version of Patreon. So through the YouTube Gaming application, whether on your computer or on your phone, you can become a member on my channel. And this is a $4.99 pledge each month, $4.99, sort of like Patreon, to support my page. And in return, I will give stuff back to you guys who are members for multiple months in a row. Right now, we have benefits for 6 months members and also 1-year members. You also get exclusive benefits in chat, emotes, stuff like that for people who are interested into the stream. But right now, this stuff is huge. Like I said in the beginning, we don't have an actual sponsor. So until we get a real sponsor of the YouTube page, having your support as we get off the ground is just crucial and super helpful. So anyone who goes the extra mile, maybe you're feeling some holiday cheer, I would really appreciate that. I know Cypher5 would too. And then eventually we won't have to ask you guys once we get this stuff up and running. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great December, great holiday, no matter what you're celebrating. And we'll get right into this episode of the podcast. All right, everybody, welcome to our 6th episode of the Final Circle podcast. Today you got me, Blitz5, and our usual co-host, Cypher5. Say what's up, man.
Hey, what's up?
So we're doing pretty well with these podcasts. We're on to episode 6, like I said, on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. So if you're listening on one of those platforms, you got options. And we're going to get right into it today. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of topics. We got PUBG stuff, Call of Duty stuff, and a lot of information just on those topics alone. But we also have so many things I think we're going to be doing. We're probably going to add an extra holiday podcast in because I'm going to be traveling during the holidays. So maybe we can record an additional podcast soon. We've gotten some questions and topics from people, Hate Mate, and some other people in the stream. So shout out to all you guys. Thank you. If you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, just tweet at us, mention it in the stream, or put it on the Discord. And is there anything particularly you want to start off today first, Andrew?
I mean, I guess we could get us started with, do you want to do Vikendi?
So,
stuff, or
yeah, I think we should start off, keep it casual about how we played Vikendi over the weekend. So I'm not sure. I don't think a lot of people probably saw it, but on Saturday, or it might have been Friday actually, I streamed a little bit of Vikendi on my PC. But the issue is that my PC is almost 6 years old, so it can't really handle playing the game and streaming at the same time. I mean, really, it barely handles playing the game at all. I had to play on like low settings or very low settings. So I tried streaming for like a half hour because it had just come out that Friday. I think it was last Friday, December 7th. And everyone was like amped up, but I had to close it down because my computer was about to crash. And then last weekend, which was December 8th and 9th, I think you and I played that Sunday, which was the 9th. Me and Andrew played Cypher5, who's also Andrew. We played probably 10 games or so, right?
Yeah, we played for a couple hours, maybe like three hours almost. Maybe, I don't know, something like that, but definitely at least 10 games.
Yeah. And that was really interesting. I mean, some games we were trying to hot drop and we couldn't find anybody. and Cypher5 and I don't play PC. We don't play mouse and keyboard. So, it took us a while to even get like proficient at walking around. But I think at the end, we both felt pretty comfortable moving around and like looting and opening doors and stuff. But honestly, if you guys play PC, you're probably like, you don't even comprehend how bad we are at PC. And, we've just been playing. I've really only played console games my whole life. I mean, the only PC games I played were like Command and Conquer and random games like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Nothing where I needed to be like really quick on the keyboard or anything, only strategy games, I guess you would say. And I feel like you probably did the same, right? Growing up?
Yeah. I only really played exactly the same games on PC, Command and Conquer, and then also, like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I mean, I played a little bit of Counter-Strike but that was so long ago, and I didn't play enough where I was good at it.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
played
but
I played one of the Battlefields, like Battlefield 2 or 3 on PC, or yeah, I think it was
mhm.
Battlefield 2, like a long time ago back in high school. And that's when gaming wasn't as serious, so you could survive just running around and like not being good. But now I feel like
Yeah,
gaming has gotten so serious over the past 5 years that it's hard to just get into a match and stay alive. So basically, we kind of just landed in the middle of nowhere. We were just trying to like figure out what was going on in Vikendi, walk around. We tried the new guns, the G36C. I don't think we found a snowmobile, but I had gotten in one at one point previously. We found like the ice lake. We went on top of the mountains, and the map is ridiculous. I mean, I think you've heard it from every single streamer. I said it in some of my videos, but this is definitely going to be the best PUBG map, I think, of all time. I mean, I'm still a huge fan of Sanhok and how fast paced it is, but this map is just the best of both worlds, and it's really
yeah.
awesome.
I think it is probably the best map. Like, you had brought it up the other day, and I think in your video about it, like being probably the most cohesive map. Like it feels like a real place. When you go on to Erangel or Miramar, it's just not realistic how everything is. But when you're on Vikendi, it just seems like it could be actually a place. Like it's not like almost to the point where like it feels like no building you go in is the same, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure. Exactly. Like I was thinking about it. If you're playing Erangel, if you go to Pachinki, like the houses in Pachinki, they're like houses that are just like
Yeah.
copy and pasted like right next to each other. And if you were in a
Hmm.
city, like it really wouldn't look like Pachinki, like it looks like someone made a video game in like a PC create a video game simulator. And that's basically what PUBG is.
Yeah.
So, because they were copy and pasting a lot of these, people called PUBG out because a lot of the designs in PUBG are from like the base engine. Like they didn't code it. You know what I mean? It was like a copy and
Yeah.
paste. Like here's standard house one, and PUBG was like, okay, we're not going to code this house, which I don't blame them. I mean,
Yeah.
why not just take their free stuff? But they took free designs and stuff like that. So but that also makes it very boring, at least the aesthetic. So when you play Vikendi, it looks like you're playing a Call of Duty map where you're dropping into like a European town in say World War II or something, in like Call of Duty World War II, and it seems like a real place. And you go outside and it looks like you're entering like an actual forest as opposed to like just random scattered trees or something in the game, and it's got a really cool vibe because of that.
Yeah. It definitely does. It's definitely a flowing map too. You have that like wooded, more fall area where there's no snow, and then you move into snow in the mountains, and
Yeah,
the towns have like streets that kind of make sense. It's not just like a weird, like random houses in the middle of nowhere. They kind of make it. There are houses in the middle of nowhere, but it's more like it's a cabin, and then you go into a city, and the buildings are different. It's not like Aaron Girl where you're like in a building in a city, and then like a couple blocks away is the same building, but there's nothing around it. Like Gatka
yeah,
and Aaron Girl is such a random town.
yeah. It's like
You know,
little towns that they just scattered in the middle of a farm. You're like, what is this area? It's so
yeah,
random.
they just needed to have houses, and I get it. I mean, it works. You just don't notice it until you play Vikendi. That's just like how nice Vikendi is.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. And I felt like surprisingly, it did play. I thought it was going to be more like Sanhok, and it did kind of feel more like the other maps to me. But for the most part, to be honest with you, right? It
Yeah,
seems
I
pretty
think
big.
it's and I think I posted like or I sent you a DM of like the overlays of all the maps,
Yeah,
and
that
it
was
is
that
like,
was really really cool.
yeah, and it's about, it's a 6x6 map, so it's a little bit bigger than Sandhawk, but a little bit, and then slightly smaller than Erangel, and Miramar is like the biggest because there's just no water. But like it definitely played slower, and I kind of wonder if it's just because people are getting used to the map, people are
Yeah,
playing slower.
mhm.
There's a lot of houses, so also we just kind of stunk, so it wasn't like we were like doing a good job of
we
like hunting people
yeah
down. We
we
were
weren't
kind of
moving
like,
around a lot.
ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, we were kind of like, ooh, look at this, like this is pretty,
It's definitely
which,
packed with locations. Like
yes,
there's a lot of like little towns everywhere, like all over the place. And not even little.
yeah,
They're actually pretty big. They just look small on the map, but they're more dense than like what we're used to previously.
yeah, definitely densely clustered areas. It's kind of like Yazanov and Erangel, but like those towns, but like obviously way better done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
exactly. Yeah.
Yazanov is very compacted, like housing and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I don't know how you pronounce that. I always call it Yasnaya. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yazanayev,
Yeah, yeah.
Polio, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea how
I
you
don't
pronounce
know.
that name.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so
But it's definitely like that.
yeah, and it's definitely cool. I mean, it definitely looks great. I mean, if you have an awesome PC, I'm sure this thing looks great, and I just hope they can kind of transfer this over correctly to Xbox and PlayStation. And still no word on that. Today is also, oh, we forgot to mention this. We should have introed with this. That today is the 1 year anniversary of PUBG coming out on Xbox One.
Yeah, happy 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, and what's crazy is, yeah, I've been following all this stuff pretty closely, you know, because of the YouTube channel and all this stuff. And they said on Reddit, I've been following all the Reddit posts and forum posts. And, you know, people are really wondering, you know, the PTS and all these updates got delayed for Xbox. We were supposed to see 2 updates in November. We really only saw one big one. And then we were supposed to see an update right now in the game, but they said that got delayed. Or we were supposed to see it on like December 7th. So people are asking all these questions and they're like, listen, we can't really say much, but we're going to say something next week. And everyone's like, dude, next week? What do you mean? Then they literally announced that they were going to make an announcement today, and it's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So they only have 3 hours left to make an announcement. I don't see anything. So I was really hoping that we would find some stuff out by the time we were recording the podcast, but it looks like, I'm going to refresh the page right now. It looks like we're still kind of dry on this stuff right now.
It's hung. I mean, aren't they in Korea? So it's pretty much the next day anyway.
Yeah, well, it is, but I think what they do is I think it's probably like 12 or 14 hours ahead. So a lot of times what they do is they make posts, like normally I wake up and I see the post dropped at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. or right before midnight, and that's like in the afternoon in Korea or early morning in Korea. So normally I bet they like have a meeting or something like, all right, we're going to post this in the US, and then the people go on the forums and they post it. Unless they're doing it out of the US office, but the times they post, they're usually really late. And I know that like if you're in New York, like I doubt you're in your office at 11 o'clock at night or something making like a PUBG post, but I know they have offices. They have an office in Minnesota, I feel like, or somewhere random like that, like Wisconsin. I think they're in Wisconsin and Santa Monica and then Korea. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, why Wisconsin?
Yeah, I don't know why, but they have like a location there. Because so I remember looking at jobs on the website, and like a lot of coders or developers are in Wisconsin or one of those states right there. But anyways, what we're expecting is the PTS. I don't think it's going to have Vikendi on it for the Xbox One, but we're supposed to have the PTS with like the graphical settings, the field of view settings for first person, the Scorpion, like all that stuff. And we're supposed to get a 1 year celebration skin for the 1 year anniversary that says it's like yellow and black and says winner, winner, chicken dinner on the side. Ooh. They showed it with like a scar. I think PC already has it. So that should be coming into the game soon. You know, people were really expecting it today, but I guess they're behind on that stuff.
Is that exclusively for Xbox?
No, I think, like I said, I think PC already has it. That anniversary skin.
PS4 is not getting that.
Well, right? Maybe they'll get. I think it's a 1 year anniversary gift, so I think PS4 will get it.
Year?
Yeah, we'll get it next year. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. Not big deal.
So that's pretty. Yeah, it's cool. And that's kind of the news we have on Vikendi. And then I was going to get into it, but maybe we'll skip over. And if we need some other stuff to talk about, we can get back to it. But they also announced they have a full post about like the Vikendi getting into the game, so you guys can read about it. Like they explain everything that's in Vikendi and the size and all that stuff, and how the zone actually works differently in this map. Like the circle and the blue zone work differently than all the other maps combined. It's like a completely different zone. And no, it doesn't look different, but they were saying, I was reading it. Felt different. Yeah, I guess. Well, now that we're recording, I'm kind of like on the clock here to find it. But I was reading it before that the way that it moves is differently. Oh, so it says here that the first circle of every game is much smaller than other maps. So the first circle is smaller than all the other maps, but then the other circles, the ones after that, they change less where they're gonna go, and then I think the blue zone goes really fast in the beginning, and then it goes really slow at the end, like really, really slow. So it's going to be like they want you to get to your location really fast, I think, like the first circle, and then after that it slows down a lot.
So they're trying to force people to get, like, it's a bigger map, so I guess they're trying to still force more action by making the circle kind of like smaller, so you're like, okay, we got to get there. I did notice that when we were playing, I was like, whoa, did the circle already move in and we missed the first one and it's already on the second one? But
I didn't notice that. Yeah, it makes sense though.
It was weird because I guess maybe I noticed that when I was playing by myself. And that's so weird.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, I wish almost they did this for the bigger 2 maps, and then they kept kind of Sanhok and Erangel kind of the same because they're already smaller. But either way, like this is just going to make the map more intense at those moments, which I like. I think it's nice to get the first circle, like get in there. I usually end up having more fun or more action when you're in that first circle, anyways. So
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of push the pace, and I think that since it's a bigger map and people were kind of like Sandhawk's too, not too small, but I think people were like, all right, we need something different. They're like, all right, well, why don't we make a little bit bigger of a map with a smaller circle, push the pace a little bit more.
yeah, yeah, for
They
sure.
force that.
And if you don't mind, I think we should just go over the stuff because some of this stuff is kind of interesting.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they have like the item spawn balance. So that this was in the post, the official post that I noticed this right away too, that they added level 3 spawns to this world, level 3 helmets.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry.
bringing it back. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah, and that was cool because, you know, it is kind of annoying when you run into somebody at the final circle. I mean, I know they risked it on Sanhok or Erangel or Miramar. If you run into somebody with a level 3 helmet, they got a crate or they killed somebody with a crate. But you were seeing so many less of those helmets that it kind of like that is kind of part of like the mascot of PUBG. So it's kind of a bummer to see less of those.
Yeah.
And they also said that level 3 vests spawn more often than other maps, and that smoke grenades spawn at a higher rate on this map compared to other throwables, which I thought was weird because if you're going to increase the smoke grenades on any map, like why not do it on Miramar or something where there's like no cover? I don't know. But
fair point.
Yeah, that was interesting. So they're definitely, I don't know if they're going to make each map have its own custom feel, like what's available on the map, or if they're going to go back to having level 3 helmet spawns. I'm not really sure. And then I also noticed that the G36C replaced one of the guns in the game. So that's the new assault rifle. It's the most compact assault rifle. It's pretty small. And it takes a couple different attachments, extended magazine. You could do a it's like everything but a stock because it already has a stock attached to it. And I think this takes away the scar again, but I'm not sure because on Sanhok, the QBZ took away the scar, and in this one I think it takes away the scar as well. And then we have the new vehicle, which is a snowmobile, which I'm sure you guys saw, which is pretty cool, 2-seater vehicle. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, that's really fun. And it apparently we didn't do much driving in the snow, but they said that a lot of the vehicles like struggle in the snow and the ice, but obviously the snowmobile does a lot better, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing here is that the Survivor Pass, they came out with all that information, and you can test it right now on the test server, on the public test server. And this is like the event pass for Sanhok, so you pay $10. You don't have to pay this to get to play the Vikendi map. It's just optional. And then there's 10 weeks of challenges. And this is pretty cool. So, there's like a bunch of different tier challenges. There's like a whole bunch of different tabs of challenges, but then each week the challenges reset. And this is kind of in addition to the survivor rewards. So this is kind of all merged into the same thing. And obviously if you're doing the premium pass, if you pay for it, there's a lot more loot that you can earn in that. And there's free loot too, but it's not as good as the premium loot that you can get. So all that stuff, there's like fur coats, all the winter gears in there, winter camos, there's the holiday sweater, all that stuff is part of that. So there's a lot of cool new content. And on Xbox, we definitely need that because, I mean, even PS4 has more skins than Xbox right now. They have all the gold weapon skins, and Xbox only has one of those right now. So we're definitely missing out a lot of content.
Well, we got the, what is it, the tan and then the flowers one.
Yeah,
the white, the M4 one. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous we don't have those, but whatever. I'm hoping they just push a big change and like we get everything and it'll align. I'm sure that's kind of probably what they're going for, is just maybe to make one update to align everything, and then they'll be good. But I have no idea.
Yeah, same. I think they're trying to probably do the same thing for console. They're probably waiting and trying to get everything just lined up the best of their ability. Their ability. And what's great about this is 10 weeks. So the Sanhok event pass was only for a month, and it ended up running for like actually 40 or 45 days because they like kept extending it for people. They're like, oh, sorry for all the issues. We're going to extend it so everybody has time to like get the rewards. And what's great about this is it's starting off at 10 weeks. So when I was comparing this, the battle pass for Fortnite was $10 and for 60 days. So I was like, oh, it's kind of messed up that PUBG is bringing in one for $10 for 30 days. It's literally half the amount of time. So this coming in and being a 10-week pass is pretty cool because that's past 2 months. It's like just over 2 months.
Yeah, what is that?
Because one month is like 4 weeks and some months have 5 weeks. So it's
I guess that's about 70 days.
It's about
70 days.
Yeah. So I think that's a good time frame, and I like that they did that. And there's just a lot of content involved in here that's possible to get. And then they're also doing this new coupon system where like if you finish, usually like say in 1 week of achievements or 1 week of missions, there's 10 missions. So if you finish all 10 missions, you actually get like a coupon, and then you can take your coupon and earn and put it in for like a reward that you normally would have to pay money for. So I see here like the ugly holiday sweater you can get for 10 coupons. So if you finish all 10 weeks, you can get that for free on top of all the extra things you've already gotten for free. So normally some rewards have like an item that you unlock just for doing that reward. So there's going to be basically, long story short is there's going to be a ton of stuff to unlock over the next 70 days once this thing comes out. And I think that's going to be exciting for a lot of players. And really, if you're into cosmetics, I really don't feel like this is like the best value. This is like the opposite of a ripoff. So many things in PUBG and other games are a ripoff, but if you have fun, like, you know, having some skins and stuff like that for $10 to unlock, like,
yeah,
you can probably unlock like 40 or 50 different items, maybe even more. So that's like a lot of stuff, you know?
That is a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's
I think I'm going to definitely give the battle pass a better shot this time than the Sandhawk one.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more time.
Well, we've definitely got more into PUBG over the past couple months for sure. I feel like it's kind of like increased over time.
Yeah. And if it comes out in January, hopefully it does. It'll be like a better time of the year, I feel like, too. To be playing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be cold. We're going to be inside all the time. That's going to be like...
weekends are kind of getting, you know, are shorter. Well, not shorter, but it's dark out. You're not going out late or, you know, all day at least.
Yeah, and we're in the East Coast in the U.S. in like January and February, Cypher 5 and I mean, in January and February, usually it's the worst months cold-wise.
Yeah.
February is usually brutal.
Yeah. I guess before we move on, though, I have to say, like, something when we were playing PC that, like, I feel like Xbox we miss now is, like, the hilarity of, like, the fact that PC people still use headsets a lot more. And, like, I feel like on Xbox or
they're not in party chat. They're not in party chat. That's
like, everyone is playing, like, in an open communication versus party chat. Like, everyone gets in party chats now and on console and just, like, goes about their day. And PC is just like open free for all, and it's just so funny because we were just trolling people and like,
dude, that I haven't laughed that hard playing multiplayer since, dude, I don't know, like Halo days, Halo 2 or something, because every game Cypher 5 and I got into, people were talking, but it's push to talk. You know, some people had the push to talk off, but every game we had, people weren't in their own party. They were like, "Hey, does anybody have a mic?" And then we would answer like, "Yes." And then sometimes we would say like ridiculous stuff to them. Sometimes we were talking like we were really nerdy and had a lisp. Other times I was pretending like I was taking it really seriously. And I asked this one team, the other two people, to call us squad, like Bravo squad or Alpha squad or whatever it was. I think it was Bravo squad. And then I'm like, "You guys are Alpha, we're Bravo, please refer to this as we communicate." And every time they were talking to us, they'd be like, "Okay, Bravo squad, like, can you guys come over here?" And me and Andrew were crying, laughing. It was really funny.
We were terrible too. That's the best part.
Oh, we were so bad.
We were like walking in the door, like trying to jump in a window, and it's just me like running into a wall trying to jump in a window.
Oh man.
I think what was the one thing the guys like, anyone find a 4x scope? And I was just like, "Nope, but I found the pan. You want pan?" Like, what did I say?
Oh no, you're like,
one guy started cracking up.
I think he was like, whatever he had was awesome. He's like, "I have an 8x scope. Do you need it?" He's like, and you're like, "All I need is my pan. I just found one," or whatever. It was so funny. Like, I just found a pan. That's all I need.
Nope, I need a pan. I'm good.
Yeah, and it was just.
And he
so
just
funny.
like cracked up. I was like, "Cool."
Yeah, that was really fun.
But yeah, it was definitely funny. Yeah, the one guy definitely was just talking, and I kept on like asking if he was talking to me. I was like, "Are you talking to me? Yeah. Who is he talking to?" He's like on the phone with his wife. That was really weird.
Yeah, I definitely miss those days of being able to hear everybody's voices, and you know, proximity chat always adds for some hilarious moments, especially when you hear people raging.
Oh my god! So yeah, when I was playing with another squad, this one guy was like really good, and he was like telling us not telling us what to do. He's like, "Go, rush the guy."
Yeah.
But I guess like with the proximity, I don't know. I honestly don't know how the proximity chat works. This is it. So he like. We're like running up the stairs. We like, I shouldn't say we because I didn't kill anybody. But like my team killed like the 3 guys, and there's like one guy at the top of the stairs still.
Okay.
And like he's like, my teammate goes, "Charge him." I was just like, YOLO. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I just put the gun on auto and like ran up there like and just like, and I just got like knocked in the guy's like from like some, you know, Russian kind of affiliated country. He was like, "Stupid Americans." And he's just like laughing, and I was just.
Oh, this was the enemy player or the guy on your team?
Yeah, the enemy player. Just, like,
and you could hear him.
Us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And then he got killed. Our teammate killed him, and he just like, it was hilarious.
So were you fully dead, or you were just knocked?
No, I was just knocked.
Oh, okay, but you could hear him. Wow.
They picked me
up.
Just
because it's proximity chat.
Yeah, it's just a proximity
Yeah,
chat, I
true,
guess.
true. I was
And I
thinking like
wonder if he
death
heard.
chat, but it's proximity chat. Yeah.
No, it's just I get, yeah, proximity chat. He was just like yelling at us that we're stupid Americans. It was hilarious. But I don't know if he heard us saying we're gonna charge up the stairs. So he's like, what? I can hear you.
Oh, maybe he heard you. Yeah, I have no
I
idea how
don't
it
know.
works.
I have no idea either. So I'm just like, whatever. But
Yeah, people are
I
probably
don't
gonna
know.
be like, "Duh, of course it's like this way or that way," but I really have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea either. Cause I hit the button to like proximity chat back, and I was like, ah, ha, ha. He's just like, I don't know if he heard me. Just probably like yelled in my teammates' ears.
That is so
Whatever.
funny, man. Yeah, that stuff
It
just
was
adds an
hilarious.
extra dynamic, and I'm sure like it probably gets old after a while, but not having it for so long, it just felt so funny like being online, and also felt like
Yeah.
extra, almost like I don't know what the right word is, but it almost felt a little extra nerdy because we were on PC. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're
I,
really in like a command center. When I'm playing on Xbox, I feel like I'm just playing Xbox, but with the mouse and keyboard, I almost felt like I was in my little like battleship, like command
oh yeah.
center.
I'm
You
like
know?
hovered over the computer, and I'm like, meh.
Yeah, because I was like hovering too. I like had the bad posture. I'm like
My
arched over,
fingers
like
hurt.
WASD. My fingers are like cramping as I'm like moving
Yeah,
around.
I had my carpal tunnel. I should put on my wrists, straight, like the
Yeah.
protectors. I think it's just funny because like 100% though makes you miss like those days of like Black Ops and Black Ops 2 where you'd be in the like lobby just like talking shit to one another and being, you know what I mean?
Oh, there's
Like
so much
those
trash
days
talk.
were just
Yeah.
so much,
And now
and
like
now it's
you
never.
can't find a single person who's like not really using the party chat. But you know what I did find that though is if you go into the event mode on Xbox,
Mhm.
on PUBG, there's actually people going to the event mode like by themselves and like, hey, does anyone have a mic? But it's still pretty like shoddy. But yeah, I mean, if you go into like a Call of Duty lobby, everybody's in a party chat. You know?
Yeah, it's different. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is
I
totally
mean, I
different.
miss those days for sure, and it kind of the PC kind of like threw it back. Like people were actually communicating.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, PC
Yeah,
for PUBG definitely has it better, and we all know PC master race. I get it. But
yeah. Now me and Ray are here trying to scramble to get better. I mean, my computer's okay. It's just that it's a laptop, and I just don't like playing on. Uh, the laptop is just so loud, and it's just uncomfortable.
yeah, it's kind of hard to get used to the keys. They're much more flat.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah, definitely more annoying. I feel like they're closer together or something. But now I'm like looking at PCs of mine. I have like this weird anxiety that like when they announced that Microsoft could, developers could support keyboard and mouse on Xbox, it just gives me this anxiety that, like the controller will go the way of the dodo, and I'll be like, trying to learn a keyboard and mouse one day. So I'm like, you know what? It's worth learning now. So if this ever happens, I won't be that jerk.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. That's like a strong word to say because like I feel the same way. I don't know if I'm like having anxiety about it, but I know what you're saying. Like I have the
Yeah.
same feeling. Like you can see, I think consoles stay around for a while, but you can see like in like there's kind of two futures and you can see a future without like or the death of like the controller. It kind of makes sense. I mean, I think the controller is way better for FPS gameplay. I just think it is
Yeah.
because the analog stick, and I know that, it's better with the mouse, but the analog stick feels way better to move around. Like to
Yeah.
me, analog stick versus WSAD, analog stick wins. Trigger versus clicking, trigger wins. The only thing that really beats it is how good your movement is with the mouse. Moving like because you can flick your wrist and you're around with the mouse, and also there's way more buttons on the keyboard. So those two things, keyboard and mouse wins. To me, everything else, the controller wins.
Yeah, I think that's 100%. The controller's just so much more relaxing on my hands too. Like the
Totally.
keyboard, I was like, oh my God. I'm not used to it, but I was just like, my fingers were just getting like so mashed up, feeling like tight. It's so weird. I'm just
Yeah.
not used to it
And I
though,
just like
but yeah.
associate like computers with like work and school work and like doing stuff on the
Yeah.
computer. And like I associate like Xbox, like gaming, controller, you know?
And, and I think about it like this way in a way though too, is like your PC that you have now is 5 years old. Like your Xbox currently, like the one you just got rid of was like 5 years old too. But in reality, you could have kept using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it still will play all the same games. That's just the hard thing with PC is that like it changes so much faster because like everyone's upgrading all the time.
Yeah. It's like
But
every year. Yeah. Pretty
yeah, like
much.
I'm looking to build a PC and I'm like, a guy at work was like, you don't need an i7 processor, but I was like, I do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just hard.
I mean, I definitely do. Like, if you stream and make videos, the more processors you have and stuff like that, the better.
Yeah.
For like i7, but you don't need it to game. I mean, people get away with like an i5, but if you're gonna get one, I mean, come on, you're gonna go. Why not go for the better computer? You know?
Yeah, that's what my sentiment exactly.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like almost like buying a car and driving off the lot. Like when you buy a computer, it's like, oh, it's already lost like all of its value. I'm kidding, but like it's already old, but not really.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like a similar metaphor, because as soon as you get it, you know, and the next graphics card comes out, then you're already down a graphics card, then the next thing, and it's that stuff is constantly coming all year round, the new details. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to keep up with, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, but that's like the fun of it too, is like building your computer. I mean, the nice thing is if you build like a good computer with like a decent motherboard, you can like really upgrade your GPU every couple years and all those components, because the motherboards I don't think change as drastically.
Yeah, they don't. I really don't know that much about it, and I was putting in some research time this week. And because I'm like, hey, you know, my computer definitely has some good parts in it, but it's definitely old in other places. So I was wondering, like, could I upgrade the computer, you know, instead of buying a new one? And I guess like after a certain while, like, for example, like my motherboard is probably not built for like, now there's like i9s and whatever, i8, whatever his processor.
Yeah, the
so
i7.
Like, so anytime there's like a big leap
cores.
like that, you need to like get you need to get like a new motherboard. So if there's a big leap in innovation in that time frame, or like, you know, the next thing comes out, then you are gonna need a motherboard. But like if you're just upgrading from like, you know, say you have this i9 or whatever it was, and then they come out with the newest i9, you're probably good to go in the next couple of years. But then buying a whole new GPU is still really expensive. So it's like one of those things where
like $400.
Yeah, it could be even yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, and then I'm like, well, people say like you could strip your computer and use, like, people online were like in forums were like, you could strip your computer and reuse like all the random pieces, like the shell and because I bought like a gaming computer and build it, and like you could use the power cord and all that stuff. But I'm like, how much is that really? Those things aren't what's like costing me the most money. You know what I mean? So I don't really mind. And then I don't know. And then I don't know what I would do with my current computer. It's working okay, but I'm definitely going to need one eventually, especially if things keep moving forward, you know, like I think it's going to be wild till we see 4K gaming like across the board and like people streaming that, because it's just so much more data. But like I definitely don't have the capability to like move up to that, to be like streaming 4K. No way. Like my computer cannot handle that. So
yeah. You're like, talking about a heavy GPU and everything too, and I mean, I don't think even like a $2,000 PC is gonna have trouble doing like really high end stuff.
Yeah, and then what's crazy is, I mean, and those people like, you know, Doctors Respect and stuff, they rock two computers, one just for streaming, and one for gaming, so it doesn't even affect their gameplay at all.
Yeah. They're probably using like the same
hardcore
computer pretty much.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Like probably $4,000 in computer, or $5,000. You know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're talking like with all the video camera and equipment, recording software, all the stuff that they have. I mean, his setup alone. I mean, if you count in his monitors, all the lights he has, all of that stuff, like his office space worth of equipment is probably pushing $20K of all stuff. I bet.
Dude, his stupid chair he sits in is probably like $800.
Yeah,
those like gaming chairs are so overpriced. It's crazy.
Yeah, so like it's really crazy to keep up with all that stuff, man. There's just a lot of equipment involved. I mean, green screen, all those things cost so much money, and that's why it's one of those things where I'm like, man, there's so many people out there doing it, and there's so many people not making a lot of money off it. So it's like, god dang, you know?
You kind of gotta be. Definitely gotta be really dedicated to it for sure too.
Yeah, and that's what you see a lot of people just fall out of nowhere. Like they just like, you go to check their page and they like stop making videos because it only can last for so long unless you're really like super dedicated to it.
Yeah, grinding. I mean, you could just get the mileage out of your computer while you can, as long as you're not streaming games through your computer. Really, you're fine.
Yeah, and I think that's fine because for the most part, most things I do in the audience is like a lot of Xbox players, so that's totally fine. And it works for right now. When I'm streaming, I'm only at like 50 to 60 CPU percentage like usage, but then it just, when I go to play a game, it goes all the way up to 100, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
So for right now, I'm okay.
Goal to have. Yeah. Get a new computer.
Yeah, and I bought an air compress, like the duster. You know those things? What is it called? I don't know. I always forget the name of it. Like the
dust can thing.
Yeah, the dust can thing. Because I haven't taken my computer apart in a long time, and a lot of people are like, "Dude, you should just clean out your computer." I really don't see the connection how like dust could be slowing it down, but people say it's true. So I haven't gone in there in like maybe like 2 years. So I'm gonna see if it's
It
real
could,
dusty in there.
I mean, if it's not cooling properly, possibly, but I mean, it's not stopping it from, you know.
Yeah,
What I mean?
I don't know how that makes sense. People always say that like, oh, clean out your computer. I'm like, I get it, like it's dirty and you should clean it out, but like, is it really gonna? I mean, I think we're wrong here because I've read it like on multiple areas. I just don't understand how.
I
But
mean,
who
I'm
knows?
sure it does slow it down. Like you have cooling units in there that keep things cool. I mean, we sound like idiots probably right now to the PC players, but like
I know they're probably like,
you have
you
things in there that keep
idiot.
things cool.
What is it gonna do though? It slows down the fan, the
Yeah,
air that's
well,
coming
think
through.
about it. If it's getting too hot, it's not going to work as well. If the fan's jammed up full of dust,
True, 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 true.
you know, like
Yeah,
it's
if
just
it's
like
if the
imagine you're
fan is full of dust, well,
insulating a computer.
we'll see, we'll see. Like I said, I haven't cleaned it in like 2 years. I'll take a picture, and we'll see how much dust there is
Yeah,
in there.
I think that's why people like those. One reason those cooling ones work so well because there's no dust. I mean, there's still fans involved, but there's like even
Yeah,
if the fans are dusty, the water is still cooling it pretty well, and you get better performance. I think allegedly, but I don't
yeah,
really know
no,
for
for
sure.
sure. I mean, it seems like all the advanced computer setups have those like water
Well,
cooling
and the
things,
one I
and
was looking at had one too, so I was like,
wow, that's cool.
yeah, yeah. I
That's
mean,
risky though.
the
You got
one
to make sure
computer I
that's
was
set up
looking at,
correctly, or you're gonna fry your computer.
yeah, it just explodes with water in there. The one computer I was looking at was really good, so I mean, maybe I'll get that, or I'll just build one. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just don't know.
it would be fun to build one. I mean, I could make the whole like series about it or stream that or I don't know, but like I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to pay attention though because there's a lot of sales after Christmas, you know, like there's basically like Black Friday, Cyber Monday after Christmas now. So I'm going to
Yeah,
take a look at that and pay attention and you know, if I can push it till next year, you know, then I'm sure next year Call of Duty Black Ops 5 will be out. I'm kidding, but like whatever the next thing is and like everything will be, you know, the new
World War
GPU and
Three.
then get it then, you know. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like
I
waiting for
mean,
the next iPhone. Sometimes it's better just to wait.
it's always going to be that way though. Next year's is always going to be better.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I can push more out of my current computer,
Yeah,
then
you might as well for sure.
until it's kind of like upgrading when you don't need to. But and I've been doing the same thing. I'm like pushing my phone right now. I'm like waiting. You know, I'm gonna wait till my phone dies, which I normally don't do. I used to just get a new phone.
Mhm.
I went from getting a phone every year to 2 years to like now I'm trying to wait a little longer than that. So
Yeah, as you get older, I feel like we get cheaper.
yeah, yeah, that
I'm
you
like
just
the
kind
same
of
way.
smart. You're like not buying it, and now phones are like the price of a computer, dude. You know, the new
Oh,
iPhone
it's
is like
stupid.
$1,400. The
Yeah,
Max
I don't think
one.
I'm gonna upgrade my iPhone until it's just like dying every day.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
that's
I
a
charge
full
my
on. You
phone
could buy a
once.
full on like gaming desktop for $400.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, you know, and my phone runs fine. There's no reason. Like, I don't play games on my phone. I just like put it on the charger at night. Like, I have the wireless charger, and I don't charge it all day.
Yeah.
It doesn't get like, you know what I mean. That's usually the only problem with iPhones. You know,
It
but it's
it's just a
it's running
battery. Yeah.
fine. It's almost 2 years old, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah. I mean, and
Fuck
seriously,
it.
they do run pretty well. So it's like
Yeah,
the
it's a
only thing that really
phone.
gets
It's
advanced is like the camera really does make big differences like year over year, and that's pretty
yeah,
much it.
but you don't use it that much. I don't really use my camera that much. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I do, but I don't.
I rather
And
have a new computer to play video games on once a month.
yeah. Well, well, I don't know. I don't know how much you use your laptop a lot because you're taking like classes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know, but like a lot of people who are older in our age now, I feel like if you're outside of school, a lot of people don't like have a use for a laptop really, unless you're a gamer. You know what I mean? Because everything can be done on your phone. The only thing that's not on your phone are programs like Word and Excel. So I was kind of talking about this with somebody recently that like if you're not going to school or something or you know most people have a work laptop so there's no point in having your work like in your own laptop, right? You know,
No,
I
yeah.
know a
I
lot of
mean,
people like that.
I have two. I have the MSI, um, and I have a MacBook. And I mean, I use them both. One's more for school
Yeah,
and gaming, and then the other one's just like if I'm laying in bed or around the house or traveling. It's really
yeah,
good
well
because
I
it's
still prefer it
tiny.
too, man. I still like when I do stuff I get like all right, iPhone's great, but like a lot of times when I'm waiting to do something I just wait, or like if I'm going shopping on Amazon or whatever, like I can do it on my
Yeah.
phone, but I like to get on the computer and do it. It's like faster to me. So
Oh,
like
100%.
yeah.
When you're trying to look at stuff or read things, do some stuff, it's just easier. Like, and having in the MacBook, it's really small, so it's great for traveling. And if like you're like away on vacation, it's nice to like look up restaurants on or like
Oh
places to
yeah.
go. It's just like easier than like your phone, and you know, I just prefer it sometimes to have it. I
Yeah,
don't know.
for
It's just
sure.
also
And
it's easier.
and quickly right now, because we're kind of talking about this is kind of a good. I was gonna wait to talk about this another time, but I think we could just kind of like scan over this really quick. So Hate
Segue.
Mate, it's Hate Mate. Quick segue. He sent me a bunch of stuff. He was talking about like, hey, you guys should talk about like upcoming mobile games coming out in 2018 or 2019. I mean, and I'm like, you know what, dude, I don't really follow like the mobile scene. I'm not a big mobile gamer, but I know there's a lot of people in the chat who are really big into mobile gaming. And this topic kind of makes me think about phones are like $1,500 now. Like they really have some serious capability. And PUBG iPhone, I mean the mobile looks pretty good. I mean I was shocked when I first played it because it looked better than like Dreamcast, and it's on your phone. It almost looks like the original Xbox or Xbox 360 games. It's like
Well,
it really is
Fortnite
shocking,
plays at 4K on your phone.
dude. It's really shocking. So. And this also scares me too because I don't want gaming just to be like a mobile thing,
Yeah.
But imagine when like people are going to be plugging like gaming. I could also see gaming going this way because people are already doing it, dude. Like you're playing PUBG Mobile on your computer, or you paid for some device where you plug a mouse and keyboard into your phone. People have those, and now people are playing PUBG Mobile with mouse and keyboard. So it's like,
Which is ridiculous.
you could almost see a future though where people don't have computers anymore and everything is done on your phone, and there's plug-in keyboards for people who want to do Excel and Word and play games, and that's the future. Nobody has a console or a computer anymore. I mean, that really could be the future. But he mentioned a bunch of games here that I'm just going to read out because they're kind of interesting, like what would come. There's like Call of Duty Mobile coming. There's already like some kind of version of that, but that's
Remember
I guess
we talked about that.
yeah, I guess that's coming out kind of soon. There's like a Lego Battle Royale. I kind of laughed when I read that, but like people are really into the Lego series games, and Lego actually sells a lot of games, so that's like probably pretty serious.
I'm sure they sell more games than a lot of companies.
They do. They honestly do. It has a huge following. There's a Rainbow Six Siege version coming to mobile, which is like, that's such a popular game right now. There's something he said PUBG Lite, but I'm not really sure what that means. And then there's a Need for Speed game and an Elder Scroll game coming for mobile too. So I feel like all those games are huge titles that you would see on a normal platform that could be coming to PC. I mean, that could be coming to mobile or are coming to mobile. And I don't know, man, that's going to be interesting to see, what the future of that is like.
That's a lot of games. And I mean, I remember our buddy Tom mentioned like the Command and Conquer game that's on mobile too, and I was checking it out. I was like, "Ooh, I kind of wanted to download it."
Dude, he sent us a thing like, "You guys should play Command and Conquer on mobile," and I was like, "I don't know, man. I didn't even look it up yet." Did you Google it?
I did. I looked it up on the App Store, and I was like looking at it and watching some videos. I was like, "Oh,
does it look good, or does it look like?"
Yeah, I mean, Command and Conquer wasn't like the most visually stunning game, so
there's so much like moving around on the map. Like, I wonder what it's like on mobile.
Yeah, I don't really know. I kind of got to look at it more, but I mean, if it was, I don't even remember if it was free to download, but I'd probably do it. It looked pretty cool though to me.
Yeah, I just still am so skeptical, man. I don't know if it's because of my age or not, but I would love to play Need for Speed on my phone. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool game. I mean, you played Hearthstone, but that's not like.
Hearthstone's a card game, and it's so relaxing. I mean, it's frustrating and it's pay to win, but not really. That's a hot take, but it basically
I remember
is
I said
pay
that
to
to
win.
you guys. You didn't believe me. You're like, no.
Well,
I was like, dude.
Honestly,
so right.
Moneysoft got a hold of that game. Not Moneysoft. I'm sorry, Activision, which is basically Moneysoft. Activision got a hold of that game, and they just ripped it apart, dude. I feel like who knows? I mean, Activision owns Blizzard. That's what I'm saying, and Blizzard makes Hearthstone. But that game, Hearthstone, was so amazing, and like once or twice a year, they would come out with like, oh, here's our new like pack system. You're like, oh, cool, this is great. Now it's like 4 to 6 times a year they're coming out with new packs and things, and if you don't buy them, you're basically so far behind. And it's like, dude, and it's $60 every 4 to 6 months. Like, come on, dude, you have to have like a full-time job just to play Hearthstone. It's ridiculous, dude.
That's stupid.
It's pretty nuts,
that's a lot of
man.
money, dude. There must be
for a card game.
I mean, they have to be killing it to keep doing it.
Dude.
People gotta be buying it, man.
They are, and I think
they would change it.
I think they lowered the price actually though. I think Chris told me they lowered the price, but I think they're coming out with even more stuff now, so it probably just equals the same amount of thing.
Yeah,
anyways.
they're probably just
But I walked away, man. I'm like, man, I just can't. It's just too much. It's too much.
I get it.
I'm down to support a game, but I think there's like a limit, man. I feel like if you spend, I mean, ultimately it's up to you and how much money and how much time you spend on a game. But to me, like, even if I spend all year playing PUBG, like if I spent all year playing PUBG like crazy, I stream it every day, I wouldn't mind spending like tops 150 in the year, but I would prefer not to spend more than $100 that year, and I would prefer ultimately not to spend more than $60 throughout the whole year. So first we have 60, then if I get up to 100 I wouldn't mind, and I would never go past like 150 on the whole year. That's like my limit right now, at least for me, and I don't know why I have that limit. It's just like mentally I feel like that's where I'm like ranging at, you know? And so I don't mind throwing down money for a game. I don't.
$150 is a lot of money for one game.
No, it is, but if you play it every day, I mean, the hour versus like money ratio is so low.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing it a lot, it's worth it. But I mean, it's still like a decent sum of money for a game, even if you play it a lot. That's like a gym membership. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like, I think those kind of numbers are like more fair. You know, especially if you're spending whatever. We don't have to get into all that stuff, but I just feel like, you know, some games are underpriced, and but paying $300 for Hearthstone a year is like you're playing for a card game, dude. There's not like really heavy graphics going on in that game, or like you know,
crap. It's it's probably the easiest game they've ever coded in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they spent a lot of money probably doing artwork and stuff, but that's about it. Anyway, so let's move on from Hearthstone. I haven't played that game in a long time, so let's see how far we're. Like 45 minutes in. Talked about Hearthstone. PUBG, some of the new games coming out, a lot of news with that. Do you want to talk about Call of Duty stuff in this?
Yeah, let's just we'll wrap it up with the Call of Duty stuff. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. I say we wrap it up with this. So I made a video about this. This is a mouthful, man. I was like panicking when I was about to record this video because I'm like, dude, there's just too much information in here. Like this could be like a half-hour long video. So, and I talk a lot, so it's easy for me to just get wrapped in and all that stuff. But this is the 1.09 title update for Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And the title here, where they posted it, it says, you know, it's Blackout audio and armor updates, multiplayer, melee, and specialist changes, zombie updates, and Nuketown custom games, aim down sight sensitivity, and more. So those are like the things they were highlighting.
Jesus.
And the first paragraph here is like the main thing. So on December 11th, which was yesterday, Operation Absolute Zero launches for free on PlayStation 4. They get it first. And this is including a new specialist and weapons in multiplayer. And then in Blackout, the hijacked boat from, what is that, Black Ops 2 or whatever, I forget which one.
Black Ops 2.
Is in the water now outside of the construction tower. So in that area, there's the boat now, which I think is a genius area. That map, that side of the map is like so desolate over there. There was just like a boring beach, and like nobody went behind construction over there. So that's a great spot. And then they have new features for zombies. I guess, you know, they changed there's a market system now and all this other stuff. So those are the big things. And with this, they updated the armor. So they changed the way the armor system works. And now your armor is more durable. And when you kill somebody, you can go to their armor and the armor scraps, and it takes like 2 seconds, and you can repair your own armor with their armor.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So if your armor is damaged, you can, like when you kill somebody, you could just actually regenerate it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because they were just saying that, which is kind of an issue in PUBG too, but I feel like the vests are pretty durable for the most part, you know, like relative to how many times you're getting shot. But in PUBG, I mean, in Call of Duty, every time you got into a gun battle, even if you had like level 3 armor, it was pretty much shot. Like it was pretty much gone after one battle. And people were complaining about that because like if you got into a battle with like 20 people left, you'd basically be screwed for your last battle to try to win the game. You'd be completely out of armor. So a lot of people are complaining about that. And also, like the durability was really low on it, so they made this system, and I think that's pretty smart. Repairable armor makes sense as long as it has like a cooldown, you know, to kind of balance it out a little bit.
Weren't people complaining that the armor was too durable before, though?
They were saying that it was not too durable. They were complaining that it was too strong. So they toned down the strength of the armor. So they're keeping that the same, they said. So they had already toned that down when the game went live from beta to live, that people were saying the armor is too strong. And then I guess then everyone's complaining about the durability. So that's the new big change.
Oh, like it. Okay, I gotcha.
I mean, like how much health it was protecting you from. They were mad at, not.
Yeah.
And then also, this is pretty complex. Like you guys need to go in here and read about it if you really want to. But they made a huge update to the audio and like about where you like the predictability of the audio and the accuracy of the audio. And they talk about all these different things that they're working on. And honestly, just reading it, it made me have a headache for like the coders of this game, because they're going into like how if you're looking in this direction, like they want it to have this noise, and like depending on the proximity, like if there's a wall in between you, you know, like there's more, I think there's less bass to the footstep because the wall is like blocking the bass, so like there's less information. I'm like, dude, imagine trying to code like if there's a wall in front of you, the footsteps have less bass, and if it's this direction, it sounds this way. And then all of the other players and it's reading that code from like, how do they even, I don't even know how they do this, dude. I really don't.
They record, I think they record the sound in some way and they just embed it in, I don't know.
No, I think they record the sound
know,
and then
really.
they put modifiers on it depending on where you are.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're doing. It seems like, from what I understand, but it's just, to me, it's like just thinking about how much
easy.
Coding and stuff is going on in these games on like a second to second basis is just.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount. And I mean, we remember like when we were playing though, the sound was definitely a little off playing Blackout. When we first started playing, it definitely was a little weird.
Yeah, the footsteps and stuff definitely seemed a little off. And the sound was like, a lot of people were complaining about the sound. I feel like most people had a really hard time pinpointing where people were. For some reason, I was having okay time. I don't know if these headsets was working out pretty good. I could usually hear people, but I remember everyone being like, I have no idea what direction they're coming in from.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember I would have, there was times I would feel comfortable, and then there's other times where I was like, I have no idea what's at, like what, you know what I mean? I was definitely like a little off.
Yeah. It's definitely hard. I mean, I've been having issues with PUBG with that too lately. I feel like sometimes it just sounds better than other times, and it can be hard to determine if people are above you or below you.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely times where I like feel like I hear myself running like latent, like, or double, which is annoying. For sure.
Yeah, in PUBG, right? Yeah.
And it's funny, like we were talking about, like Dr. Disrespect and his setup, like in the computers, because like I was watching a game, like a recording that was on YouTube of him, and like Blackout crashed his computer. Like he had to like, you know, Control Alt Delete, you know,
wow,
and reboot the game. And I'm like, that's crazy. If you're like, he must have, you know, a really nice setup, and it's like pushing his game that he has to like actually, you know, stop the program from running and like restart it. You know, like he didn't have to. It didn't crash his computer; it just crashed the program.
Interesting. I mean, it could be the program.
I mean, that's definitely a bug.
Yeah, it could be a bug. Or, I mean, these guys are running a lot of things in the background. Like I said, for me, when I'm streaming, it's not just the stream that's running. It's like all those things are connected, like the alerts, and now I added some like GIFs, and all that stuff is being like kind of overlaid, and like they're searching for the file, so it's pulling a lot of information from your computer when you're streaming. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
True. Yeah, I mean, it definitely is strenuous, and I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean like it was the computer. It made the computer fail. It could just be the fact that there was just too much, like not too much. It just could be the fact that the game had a bug where it just like got hung in an area or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Like it just had an error. It would hit errors loading in. So, but it was just interesting. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty.
He
crazy.
definitely has a nice setup for sure. So,
yeah,
that's definitely a weird glitch.
Yeah, you know he does.
That's a lot of updates for Blackout. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
it's kind of makes me think like, I kind of wonder what they're going to be doing in the next 6 months. You know what I mean?
Dude, if you look at this, this full thing, man, it's like pages long of just updates. Like there's so many even little updates, but if you go through here, we could talk about this for a whole hour, bro. They changed like so many things, so many tweaks to the specialists, to the games, to the camos, to accessories, to items, how you attach things, aim down sight, sensitivity options, map changes. Like they added, they added an elevator in the hydro dam in Blackout. I forgot about that.
I heard that.
And
I think I from your video.
That's they opened up some areas in the map. They just did so many things, and I definitely give them a lot of credit, man. This is like a ton of stuff they're doing, and this is exactly 2 months after launch. I feel like it launched on October 12th, I think. So it's pretty good for them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it gives me a little bit of hope, but I don't think I will be super convinced until they say what they're gonna do about the next game and like what they're gonna do with Blackout. Then,
yeah,
you know, what
I
mean?
agree with you, man.
Don't know.
Yeah,
I just think that they're gonna leave it and they're gonna go to the next iteration, and it's gonna be called something else, and it's just gonna be, you know, a restart over, you know.
Yeah, and then all that work that people grinded for, like, you know, people are putting in some serious time for like the new skins, and then that's not gonna go to the next game. That's weird, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's just where I think it's great that they're doing this. To have me like really be bought in on it.
Yeah,
or sold on it, whatever.
unless Blackout becomes its own game and it just becomes ever evolving. I mean,
I
it would
mean,
honestly be really cool. I
it
think
would be
I
smart.
think it would be smart. I just don't know if they have the guts to do that.
Yeah, they have to really break their own rule or scheme. I don't know, man. It's definitely an interesting thing. I think that they put themselves in a I think they're doing the right thing, but they've also put themselves in a precarious position. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah,
oh, like this, because battle royale player people that are really into the battle royale player like aren't the same as the multiplayer people, in my opinion. I think that battle royale players have expectations that this is going to be something they can keep playing.
yeah.
I
Honestly,
think that
what they should just do is next year, whatever Call of Duty is, $60, zombies, whatever they want to do. Blackout is free to play so that everybody after this year, after 1 year, Blackout's free to play so that anybody who buys the next Call of Duty can still play Blackout and switch back and forth. And then they can play whatever, if it's going to be Modern Warfare 4, because that's whatever that game is, they probably already have in development. So it's probably, it's not like they're going to stop
almost
making.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably almost done. So
Not almost done, but there's definitely getting there.
yes,
It's definitely.
oh yeah,
in
they usually start at 3 years ahead of time or whatever it was. So
Yeah, they have 3 years to build it, so they're definitely probably in their late stages now. Like
yeah,
the changes they're making are like they're tweaking and testing, and I'm sure they're pretty far along.
isn't it crazy, man, that stuff doesn't get leaked? It's got to be Modern Warfare. I mean, it doesn't have to be. So let me take that
No,
back.
I
But
mean
I
they
think it could be
did.
Modern
It's
Warfare
gonna.
4. I think it could be.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm wondering because it was. This is the same company that they did Ghosts,
Oh, is it?
and this is gonna be. It's they did Infinity Warfare and Ghosts.
It's
Call
not
of
going to
Duty
be.
Ghosts and Infinity
It's not going to
Warfare.
be Infinity Ward.
It was Infinity War. They did Infinity War 2 years ago, so they were the year
No, but I
before
mean, Infinity Ward
World
is
War
one of the
Two.
producers, so I wonder which one they're
Infinity
doing.
Ward. Sorry, I thought you were saying Infinity War. Infinity War was the name of the game that Infinity Ward made.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Stupid kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Yeah, they did do Infinite Warfare and Ghosts. You're right.
Infinite. Sorry,
Yeah, so this is
Infinite
their
Warfare.
turn, I think. You're right.
Yeah, it's their turn, and they did Ghosts too, and that was like after I
And they
think
did Modern Warfare
Ghosts.
3. So yeah, they've done. Dude, it's definitely Modern Warfare 4.
I
And
hope so.
oh
I think
man,
the thing is that this is the team that that was originally, the Call of Duty guys that made Infinity Ward are like their last one I think was Modern Warfare 3, and then another that's when those two guys left and created oh my gosh, Respawn, where Titanfall comes from. And then they
yeah,
did newer Infinity Ward made Ghost, which was garbage in my
yeah,
opinion, and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah.
Infinite War,
Infinite
which
Warfare, which
was
wasn't that good
garbage
either. Yeah,
to me too.
those last
Sorry,
two have
guys.
not been good.
Yeah, their last two were not good. So I wonder if they'll kind of be like, you know what, like we're seeing way more success on not flying around and jetpacking around and doing this weird stuff, running on the walls. Like, let's just bring it back.
That would
Maybe
be
we'll just do
crazy,
Modern
man.
Warfare 4. That would be cool. I think it'd be a great step.
That
I
would
think
be
it would be
nuts.
awesome. But I kind of hope they don't do a battle royale. I just hope they don't.
Yeah, but honestly, it would have been the Modern Warfare series for a Battle Royale would have been great. But the way they did with Black Ops 4, I think, is probably the best.
Yeah.
But honestly, Black Ops
I
4
think so,
almost
too.
looks like what Modern Warfare 4 would look like, in my opinion, or something. I don't know. So what is it going to be?
I mean, what Modern Warfare maps would you want to see made into a Blackout type of map? It would be kind of interesting. I can't think of any. The airport one.
Favela, bro, famous.
I can't think of. I
Favelas?
don't. Favelas, yeah, favelas was it?
But I'm
Wait,
like,
was
I
that
can't think of like a whole. There's High Rise is a great map, great like
Rust?
Modern Warfare series map. Rust, High Rise. I'm trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. There's a lot of just solid maps, but there's not like a million that pop out. There's that one that's on the mountain. That's like the wooden like ski resort lodge looking one. That's like famous that people loved. I never really liked that map, but like people love that map.
I didn't like it either. I all I can remember is like Rust. I can't. I'm trying to think of like Modern Warfare maps, like original Modern Warfare maps.
There were so many great ones. I mean, honestly, in Modern Warfare 3, there were so
Silence.
many good maps that I loved
Yeah.
that are just so like
Oh,
underrated.
what's the one that was like kind of like looked like it was a European streets?
There was like one that was called Resistance, and there was another one
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was like that were like really famous maps that were great too. All of those were
Yeah.
really good.
butchering the names right now and trying to remember, but yeah, it'd be interesting. But I just don't want them to do it.
Yeah, I
just
think
don't
they should just stick with Black Ops, man. I feel like that series is the current best, and like coming out, I didn't think there was going to be a Black Ops 4, and there was, so like that's a pretty big thing. And I don't know, we'll see, man. Who are we?
Yeah.
How are we gonna know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think Modern Warfare would be kind of cool because it wouldn't have even the elements that Black Ops 4 has. You know what I mean? Like the specialist stuff. It'd be kind of cool just to do Modern Warfare 3 with a
yeah,
4
but who knows? I mean, it might not even do well. I mean, is like multiplayer dead, or people just want to play battle royale now? I mean, the future can only tell. Sure. But right now, that's where all the hype is. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, we'll see. I guess what they do. I'm sure they'll announce it in like the next month or so. They'll probably have something come out about it.
Honestly, how dope would that be if we just said, "Hey, call like the best 2 parts of the franchise, Call of Duty, have been Modern Warfare and Black Ops." It would just be so sick if they said, "All right, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, we're done," and then Infinite Warfare 4 comes out and we're done, and then Infinite Warfare becomes like that's just the multiplayer version of the game that everyone plays from now on or something. They would never do that, but that would be really cool. And then Black Ops 4 was like Blackout, like that is going to be Battle Royale, Modern Warfare 4, and then like there's no more every year thing, but I don't think they're going to do it. But I'm just really tired of grinding to lose all your content, man. I really am. I'm tired of just grinding in games. And you could argue that all we do is grind in PUBG, but I just like that when you log back into the game, all the stuff is there. You know, there's so many people that message me like, "Hey, I gave up on PUBG and I came back." And like, it's nice that they can come back to the game. They don't have to spend another $30 for PUBG 2 and then PUBG 3 and then PUBG 4, and then they lose all their gear. And then PUBG 3 is in World War 2, and then PUBG 4 is in World War 1, and then PUBG 5 is in space, and then PUBG 6 has jetpacks, and everyone complains. Like, why go through all of that and just make the game?
You're playing a different game almost every time, but it's the same game.
And that's what Call of Duty has done. And I love Call of Duty, but I just can't keep doing stuff to just like all of those hours. I feel like in other games are just gone into the abyss, you know?
Yeah, I agree. We're just burnt out, man. We've been playing Call of Duty for 10 years.
10, 15 years, yeah. It's crazy. And even Hearthstone, man, I talked crap about it, but if I ever decide I want to go back into Hearthstone, like all of my progress is still there, you know? So it's kind of
it's
nice.
just you have crappy cards compared to
well, all my cards are old, yeah.
Exactly. So.
All right, man.
I guess that's it.
Yep.
For tonight.
That's good. We covered all the major stuff. A lot of stuff going on right now in the video game world. Obviously, the fall and the beginning of Christmas or holiday winter season is always really popular and bumping. This is the biggest part of the cycle for video games is right now, and then it kind of gets big again in like February, and then sometimes there's some launches in late spring, like May time, and then usually then it starts back up in the fall again. So a lot of stuff going on. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Episode 6, right?
Yeah, episode 6.
Not bad, man. Not bad. And you gotta end it with our famous line.
Thanks for joining us in the final circle.
Thanks for surviving. In the final circle, we'll see you guys next week. Whatever you want to say. Same
Whatever.
thing. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. And as always, you guys can catch us on social media platforms. The stream, you know where to find Cypher5 and I on YouTube and online. So, all right, guys, take it easy.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.